Yeah, here we are, Castle Lake. A lot of snow. That's that lake. It's just all snow. Wow. It's just great being right here, quiet. I was noticing tracks in the snow. I think I saw some bear tracks. Mostly dog and people. But it's interesting. I like this observing. My topic, treatment that produces happiness, feeling good, and prosperity. And remember, my definition of prosperity is that it means just to go forth with enthusiasm to do what it is that is in your heart to do. That's it. That's it. And you just begin. See, everybody said, when I have enough money, then I'll will it. When I get all my bills paid, then I'll do that. When I get rid of that person, when I get a mate, then all this stuff is making everything out there more powerful than you are. Well, this is the reason. No, that happens, and you look for a reason. Come on. So treatment. And I studied metaphysical teachings, and then I, went to the seminary of the Ernest Holmes School of Religion, which was science of mind, religious science, not Scientology. They always want, is this? No, listen, no. And it meant making a science of the basic principles that you find throughout all teachings and all religion. What were the basic fundamentals that you could find through all your research, and that's a really good way to do research. And so he called his prayers treatment. He didn't call them prayers. And also the word pray is what say animals do on another animal, or a person does on an animal. They prey on them, that they watch them and they pray. And so that's a strange word that has like a victimizer on a victim word, pray, and then prayer, to pray to not ever somebody out there, but how you actually heal a problem. And what heal a problem means, now it's very interesting too, because I do words, but heal is also on your foot, and so going barefooted brings a lot more vitality, a lot more health, and all good stuff. And tuning in, you see. Because as you listen, you tune in and you listen within yourself. Not to the voice, not to the mind, not to the thinking process. This is not conversations with your mind. Come on. And most people, that's all they're doing. They're just talking to their mind. And what is the mind telling you? Because it's not really you. It's a foreign kind of a voice that is not us. Because we don't need to talk to ourselves, because we are wisdom. We're all knowing. That's who we are. So treatment is so magnificent. And he had 5 steps of treatment. I've kind of added 6, but steps are only necessary as long as you need the step. And then when you don't need the step, because you're already there, you don't just need to keep using the steps. Steps are not the goal, you see. They're to get you there. And when you're there, you don't need the steps, because then you keep reclimbing those same things. So anyway, treatment, then you treat the situation to bring it back to natural or normal, or, that which is whole, complete, and perfect. And treatment is actually, I have to write down, because is what I tell myself of the truth that already is. And I'm not trying to make something happen. I'm not trying to get rid of something. I'm not focusing on, oh God, give me, a new car. Oh God, give me this. And oh God, give me that. And oh God, give me this. And oh God, get rid of this. And oh God, do this. And all. So what that's doing is, again, you're putting your power outside yourself, and people are always asking for someone or something, help me. And that's one of the problems, is when everybody has enough problems, then they say, well, I'm going to go get somebody to help me. So I'll make someone else the authority, which means the author of my life. They start scripting and then controlling and running my life. And life is who I am. It's not what happens on the outside. You are life. So anyway, treatment, we would say, if we say, for instance, a person wanted to have a mate, a loving, supportive, empowering person, partner, beloved. And so what would you do? So to treat it, you would want, and like what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a treatment, because I'm speaking in a way that is more harmonious with absolute truth, and you are absolute truth. So I'm telling the truth about you. Now the truth is, there is one power. Now, there's not a power for evil and power for good. Actually, Zoroastrians kind of brought forth the teaching of there's an evil equal to God. There's God's evil self, the other evil person. No. Now, that does not mean in this realm you don't witness and you see the good and the bad, the evil and the good going on. Because this is also a duality that runs on these two opposites fighting each other, each claiming superiority or domination over the other. But you don't want to do that. What we're going to is the absolute. And that absolute is the divine, and it's who you are, which you're part of, and that's where we're already unified as that. We just need to recognize that, and then in our dealings or whatever, we discern the truth from the false, and we also can discern what other people are up to. Doesn't mean you don't wish them well and love them, you're not judging or hating, but you are discerning. And you only want to bring people into your life that are in your consciousness, because it's in your consciousness. So if you have a consciousness of violence, you'll bring people violent into your life, or you will be violent upon these people because they're bringing violence into their life. So if you want to tell the truth to do a treatment, you have to tell the truth of what already is, and what already is there is one power, and that is the absolute power. And you are part of that. Yes, so that power is whatever that is. That's what you already have, because it's who you are. It's an intangible in that way. And it comes from your knowing. So you would say there's only one power, and that power is my power. That power is with me, where you're affirming that. You see, this is the first step and the second step of Ernest Holmes' 5 steps of treatment, and it was really, really good. And then some people start to say, well, you don't ask God, you just start demanding. This isn't about God right now, the treatment. This is about you getting in right relationship with the divine. So then the symptoms that are appearing of pain and suffering and lack and limitation and fear have no place with you, you see, because you are knowing the truth that always is. It never changes. There's not two powers. It wasn't like people said, well, after the flood, then God changed God's mind, said we could go kill and eat little animals. Really? God never changes what God says. No. Things don't. And then as somebody said, well, I'm God's what do you call it, authority here on earth. But who's God? What's God? Who are you talking about? And it's telling you could now do this and that, and everybody goes, oh, good, they said I can. Wait, don't give your power away. You have the power. So a treatment then, it was the third step, is then you say, what's the truth? And the truth is that I already have loving relationships in my life. Who I truly am loving, and I only attract loving and supportive and empowering people into my life. And I'm knowing and speaking the truth. You see, all you have to do is convince yourself. See, I was trained as a spiritual mind healer, as a therapist. And the key was, don't agree with the person with the challenge who's come to you. Don't agree with them. And what people say, and I was watching this one internet program that I like, and what I noticed is that people were all starting to, in the chat room, complain. Complaining keeps the problem. So, I'll teach you more on treatment coming up. Treat away your problems. How to get rid of them. Remember, we did some on treatment. I want to do more on treatment. And treatment is what Dr. Ernest Holmes, in his Science of Mind, which is learning the science of how the mind operates, who we are. He researched many different philosophies and religions to find out what were the main teachings that all of them had in common. What was like, so I'll tell you, one I did, they had in common was the holy names of God. That was or the goddess. Yeah, it was always the name somehow, the sound of it, or the vibration of it. And that brings me back then to the sounds of this, light and sound display here. And that, so treat away your problems. And treatment, he came up with 5 steps of treatment. And what it meant was a treatment as a medicine to heal yourself of the dis-ease, lack of comfort, the problem, the situation, this. And see, people have all kinds of reasons and excuses why everything's going on and why it's this and that. And they always want to blame something on the outside. Well, yes, because our people can inject things into your physical body, or what's going on almost all of the time is this hypnotic trance of duality that keeps us focused always on the outside, and therefore allowing outer situations then to control our emotions. And as according to the Vedas, our nature, Satchitananda Vigraha, means we're made of our nature, and not the totality, but our nature is consciousness, eternity, consciousness, bliss, and a form that we express through, because we have a spiritual body. And that spiritual body is a beautiful body, and it's not a light body, it emanates light, you see. You have to define, you have to discern, and a lot of discernment are subtleties and of what you're saying and what you're speaking. So to treatment them is what I use to convince myself of the absolute truth that always is. And there is no second power, powerful evil. There's only one power for good. And you would go, I know there is only one power. That means you're not giving power to some alien force to you. You're not giving power to someone else to pull your strings or jerk you around. You're not giving power to anyone or anything outside of the divine that we all have in common as living entities, including animals, and as souls. So eternity, consciousness, and bliss. So the first step, know there's only one power, and second, know that power I have, and that is who I am. And then the third step is when you speak the truth. And as said, if you wanted a relationship, you would speak the truth about it, that there is only one relationship, and that is the relationship I have with my source, my God within. And affirming and knowing who you are, and then affirming that obviously that they say there's about 7,000 mates you could have in the world somehow that would be a really good partner with you. That's quite a few, that's okay. But you got to be a partner with yourself, because otherwise, if you think something's missing, and so most people, they're praying because they think something's missing. They're trying to affirm something because they think if they affirm it, they will make it happen. No, you want to get as Emerson said, the American philosopher, get your bloated nothingness out of the way. That means get rid of your excuses and your reasons and all of this that you have given to the situation to make it real and solid And that's the way it is. So treatment them, and how you can have constant treatment in your life, so that, because I had one of my students in my Grand Master program we were talking about, and he said, well, how do I get, he says, what do? It says, do I have to just keep being conscious and alert? And I said, absolutely. You have to be vigilant. And what it means is, I'll tell you why it's so great to be a teacher, a teacher of spiritual knowledge, and a mentor and a counselor, a guide, facilitator, that of this knowledge that I was seeking my entire life. And what I share with is what I have found, and those resources, that because everyone has to really do your own research, you have to understand for yourself. But when I was talking with him, yes, you've got to control your mind. Don't let it be controlling you. Know the experience through your meditation, your breathing exercise, what you need to do to be centered in yourself, and the mind quiet. See, most people don't know how to quiet the mind. The mind is controlling them. If you can't control your mind, that machine or that thing is controlling you, because you don't need a mind. You are divine. You are all-knowing. You are wisdom itself, because that's what you're part of. And see, I'm treating right now because I'm talking to you of truth. And what we want to do is eliminate doubt. Not doubt about this situation or that. No, I meant self-doubt. And self-doubt has nothing to do with the thinking process. It's everything about the knowing situation. So when you treat yourself when you tell the truth about something, the problem goes away, because you're not creating the problem any longer. You're not giving your power to it, but you have to agree with the treatment for it to work. And what people do is they're disagreeing with wholeness. They're disagreeing with who they really are. Oh, that's not possible. Oh, how could you be like that? All these beliefs. What would my mother say? What would my father? Everything's held in place by people basically policing on themselves and each other to make sure we all conform and we all stay this ignorant mass of the glob and the blob, and then screaming and yelling on the ride that they're generating. So, hey, treat it. That means know the truth, and then let go and let God, and be grateful. More later.
Good one. I was kind of hoping it was going to go the other way on the plane, but